Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be reading from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. It talks about a prophecy against the king of Tyre, and there is an implication to this actually being an analogy to Satan, and it gives us some evidence of Satan and how he was created, some of his characteristics, and his eventual judgment. It's very important in your Christian walk to know your enemy. And even if you're not a Christian, to know your enemy. And our enemy as Christians is the Antichrist, who is Satan. And Satan, of course, was an archangel that fell. He was created. I'm going to read about, he says he was full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. That's verse 12. I'm getting ahead of myself. But Satan was a created angel, and he actually fell against God through pride. Pride is the root of most all sins, and through that pride he wanted to ascend above the throne of God. He wanted to be like God or above God, even though he was a created angel. When he made that decision to fall, he also, the Bible says, took a third of all the angels with him. Those are essentially what we know as evil spirits or demons, or also fallen angels. These things do exist. They are real. They were first created by God, and then they made a choice to sin, to unite with Satan in great rebellion and war against God. And in the final days, after God's wrath has been poured out on the earth, they will be judged and sent to hell for all time, including the father of lies, Satan himself, also called Lucifer. Satan has many different names. I'm not going to give all of them for you, but the main one is Lucifer. It means light bearer. Satan is an angel. He is actually an angel of light. There's a verse in the New Testament that warns folks to not be deceived by angels of light, because this can actually be Satan. Satan is not necessarily the red-horned dragon that we think of him in Halloween. He's actually an angel that can shapeshift, intercede through different dimensions. Obviously there's more than the 3 to 4 dimensions that we live in. And Satan, being a created powerful archangel, can do a lot of different things that we can't. He is more powerful than us, and God is sovereign, so he can only do what God allows, as we see in the book of Job. But God does allow Satan for now, for a very short season, to have his way, along with a third of all the angels. I don't know exactly how many angels there are, but even at a third, there's probably millions of demons infesting the earth and the sky. The book of Enoch talks about demons in the form of the Watchers. The Watchers were a demonic realm that was actually in the sky and watched humans and picked up on their weaknesses and learned how to tempt them based on what they saw. Satan and demons cannot read your mind. They can watch you. They can listen. They can also deceive you. That is their purpose on earth, is to deceive you, to make you stumble, to make you worship things that aren't really God or of God. I personally believe a lot of the apparitions of Mary and of angels have actually been of a demonic realm. I'm not saying that all angels cited are of the evil kind. There are good angels as well. In fact, 2/3 of the angels are good angels, but there are some really spooky things involving demons that don't always appear scary. They might appear as an angel of light. Let me go ahead and read, starting in verse 1. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, say to the ruler of Tyre, this is what the sovereign Lord says. In the pride of your heart you say, I am a god. I sit on the throne of a god in the heart of seas. Again, Satan's downfall was his pride. Our downfall is our pride. It is pride that causes us to do other things, to steal, to cheat, to lie, to lust, to covet. It all starts with pride, wanting our throne above the throne of God. But you are a man and not a god, though you think you are wise as a god. Don't we all think that we are wise as a god, but yet we deceive ourselves? Are you wiser than Daniel? Is no secret hidden from you? By your wisdom and understanding you have gained wealth for yourself, and amassed gold and silver in your treasuries. there's a plug for my hypothesis that money will be gold and silver soon, but I digress. By your great skill in trading, you have increased your wealth, and because of your wealth, your heart has grown proud. Okay, it's very difficult for rich people to not become proudful because of their wealth. That's why we're commanded not to worship our money. Therefore, verse 6, this is what the sovereign Lord says, because you think you are wise and as wise as a god, I am going to bring foreigners against you, the most ruthless of nations. They will draw their swords against your beauty and wisdom and pierce your shining splendor. They will bring you down to the pit, and you will die a violent death in the heart of the seas. Will you then say, I am a god? In the presence of those who kill you, you will be but a man, not a god. In the hands of those who slay you, you will die the death of the uncircumcised in the hand of the foreigners. I have spoken, declares the Lord. This prophecy was actually given to the king of Tyre, and that kingdom was destroyed. It was an island in the Mediterranean. It's a historic fact that that kingdom was overrun very quickly and completely destroyed. So that prophecy can have some analogies with Satan, but here's the key, starting in verse 11, where it gets specific away from the king of Tyre and into Satan himself. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, take up a lament concerning the king of Tyre, and say to him, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Here's where we learn about Satan. You were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you. Ruby, topaz, and emerald, chrysolite, onyx, jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and beryl. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mount of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you. There's a lot there. Let me give you some of the bullet points. First off, we learn that Satan was created. He was in the Garden of Eden. We also learn that he was created as the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Okay, again, Satan is actually a beautiful angel of light, and he's extremely intelligent. Do not underestimate Satan to just be a red-horned dragon. He can deceive us. It says, every precious stone adorned you. He was probably very beautiful when he was first created. The stones of the garden and the earth that God made actually seem to adorn him, whatever that means, whether it means light up against him or flash in beauty or brilliance. And again it says, on the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as guardian cherub. The purpose of Satan being created by God was to be a guardian cherub. A cherub was basically an archangel, and Satan's job was to protect the throne of God and hover over it. That wasn't good enough. He wanted to sit on the throne, and that's what caused his fall through his pride. In verse 15, you were blameless in your ways from the day you were created. God did not create him evil. God gave Satan free will. God gives us free will. You cannot blame God for your mistakes. Till wickedness was found in you. Okay? Satan was not created evil. Satan chose to be evil. We choose to be evil. We send ourselves to hell. God does not. Though through your widespread trade you were filled with violence and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, and I expelled you, O guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Verse 17, your heart became proud on account of your beauty. Pride because of his beauty. That's vanity. Look at America. We are full of vanity. We are all guilty of it. It leads to pride, which leads to sin, which is exactly what Satan did. Women, do not adorn yourself with gold and silver and makeup. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with it, but look for beauty on the inside. That is more important than what you look like and what you dress. God measures a man and woman's heart, not what we wear, not what we look like, not what our hairstyle is. I say that, and I know I have a terrible haircut right now. And you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. So I threw you to the earth. Satan will be thrown to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade, you have desecrated your sanctuaries. Desecration. That's what I talked about with the rainbows, how they're desecrating the very throne of God. That is because Satan is behind it. Satan is behind the same-sex movement of desecration. He wants to desecrate the very throne of God, just as he did written here in chapter 28 of Ezekiel. So, because of this, I made a fire come out from you, and it consumed you, and I reduced you to ashes. Satan only has free reign for a little bit, and he will be reduced to ashes on the ground. In the sight of all who are watching, all the nations who knew you are appalled at you, and have come to a horrible end, and will be no more. Such as the fate will be the fate of Satan, such will be the fate of all demonic realm. Such will be the fate that gives in to them and worships them instead of God. God bless you. Stay away from it. Know your enemy. Understand your enemy and turn to Jesus. Good night.